ever wondered why millions of women around the world wear the hijab or headscarf? Are they being forced to wear it? Or are they choosing to wear it freely? Is it something religious or cultural? If you're curious or have questions about this topic, you're not alone. In this video, we will uncover the hijab, its etymology, history, religious and cultural significance, and its common myths and misconceptions. The hijab, a term often associated with the headscarf worn by Muslim women, is a multifaceted concept that encompasses much more than just a piece of cloth. It represents modesty, privacy, and morality, and is deeply rooted in Islamic teachings and cultural practices. Before we go deep into the history, let me tell you a little bit about my personal experience. Having been born in an Islamic culture, I've been wearing the hijab since my childhood. When I was 9 years old, there was a celebration at school for all 9-year-old girls. That was the start of a number of religious tasks, including prayer and wearing the hijab. This is like a coming-of-age celebration and is something similar to bar mitzvah in Judaism or confirmation in Christianity. For me, it was not some grand moment or anything out of the ordinary because I was already used to it from my family and culture. I didn't feel pressure or fear. I just felt like I was entering a new stage of my life and becoming more mature. I've been wearing the hijab ever since. I wear it when going out and in front of men, except certain close relatives. So when I'm at home with my family, I don't wear the hijab. But let me emphasize that my decision to wear hijab is not merely a reflection of religious or cultural imitation. I have diligently researched its history and the reasons behind it, which I want to discuss with you now. The word hijab originates from the Arabic verb hajaba, from the root he, jim, be, which means to hide or to cover. In its most literal sense, hijab refers to a barrier or partition. Many people think that hijab is only about covering the hair, but it is an entire lifestyle that includes modesty in behavior and speech. It is a comprehensive system that guides how Muslims live their lives. The act of veiling is fundamentally about embodying modesty in dress and character, and this applies to all Muslims, including men. While men are not required to cover their entire bodies, they too must adhere to specific standards of modest dress and behavior. Men are instructed to lower their gaze in the presence of women and dress modestly. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, emphasized modesty for both genders, stating, "Modesty is part of faith." The emphasis on modesty for both men and women underscores the holistic approach of Islam towards maintaining dignity and respect in society. The concept of hijab is rooted in Islamic teachings, with references to covering the body and modesty found in both the Quran and Hadith. Key verses from the Quran include Surah An-Nur, "And tell believing women that they should lower their glances, guard their private parts, and not display their charms beyond what it is acceptable to reveal. They should let their headscarves fall to cover their necklines and not reveal their charms except to their husbands, their fathers, their husbands' fathers, their sons, their husbands' sons, their brothers' sons, their sisters' sons, their womenfolk, their slaves, such men as attend them who have no sexual desire, or children who are not yet aware of women's nakedness. They should not stamp their feet so as to draw attention to any hidden charms. Believers, all of you turn to God so that you may prosper." And Surah Al-Ahzab, "Prophet, tell your wives, your daughters, and women believers to make their outer garments hang low over them so as to be recognized and not insulted. God is most forgiving, most merciful." The sayings and practices of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, known as hadith, further elaborate on the principles of modesty. For example, a hadith narrated by Aisha mentions that the Prophet said, "O Asma, when a girl reaches the age of menstruation, it is not proper that anything should remain exposed, except this and this," pointing to his face and hands. Within Muslim communities, There is a diversity of practices and approaches to women's clothing. The hijab generally refers to a headscarf that covers the hair, neck, and sometimes shoulders, leaving only the face visible. It is the most common form of modest dress among Muslim women. A burqa is a full body covering that includes a mesh screen over the face, covering the entire body from head to toe. It is primarily worn in Afghanistan and parts of Pakistan. A niqab is a face veil that leaves only the eyes visible, often worn with an accompanying headscarf. It is common in the Arabian Peninsula and some parts of North Africa. A chador is a full body cloak worn primarily in Iran, which leaves the face uncovered but covers the rest of the body. The dupatta is a traditional piece of clothing commonly worn in India and other South Asian countries. It is a long, multi-purpose scarf that is often draped over the shoulders and head, and it holds significant cultural and aesthetic value. While rules of clothing and modesty are important Islamic practices that are not unique to Islam, they are also present in various forms across different religions and cultures. In early Christianity, women were expected to cover their heads as a sign of modesty and piety. This practice is still observed today by some Christian denominations, such as the Amish and Mennonites, and by nuns. Orthodox Jewish women and men practice tunios or modesty, which includes covering their hair with scarves or hats. In some Hindu and Sikh communities, women cover their heads as a sign of respect and modesty, especially during religious ceremonies and in the presence of elders. Various cultures around the world have their own interpretations of modesty and veiling, often influenced by local customs and traditions. These practices demonstrate that the concept of modesty and the use of veils or head coverings are widespread and not confined to any single religion or culture. The hijab offers numerous benefits, both for the individual and the community. Hijab acts as a form of protection, helping to prevent unwanted attention and interactions. It promotes a sense of security and respect, ensuring that interactions are based on mutual respect and decency. It encourages people to judge others based on their character and actions rather than their physical appearance, promoting equality and focusing on spiritual, intellectual, and moral qualities. It can also reduce the pressure to conform to societal beauty standards. Hijab helps individuals to be appreciated for who they are rather than how they look. For many women, wearing the hijab is an empowering choice that allows them to express their faith and identity. There are many misconceptions about the hijab, and wearing it can come with challenges. In some societies, hijab-wearing women may face discrimination or misunderstanding, yet many find strength in their choice, viewing the hijab as a symbol of resilience and identity. A common misconception is that the hijab is a symbol of oppression. For many women, it is a voluntary and conscious choice that reflects their faith and values. Another misconception is that the hijab is purely a cultural practice. While cultural factors do influence how the hijab is worn, its roots are firmly grounded in religious teachings. With that said, many contemporary Muslim women are redefining the hijab in various contexts, including fashion and activism. The hijab can be a statement of resistance, identity, and empowerment. Addressing these misconceptions is crucial to fostering a more accurate and respectful understanding of the hijab and the larger religious and cultural context of which it is a part.